The Rings of Power is one of the most disliked yet most expensive TV shows ever made. How can both be true at the same time? Well, the answer isn't that complicated when you tear down the show and take a close look at why Rings of Power Season 1 was the fan disaster it was, and why Rings of Power Season 2 will most likely only be marginally better, if at all. And I'm gonna tell you why.
This movie's gonna suck.
Welcome back to POPRAGEOUS, everyone. So The Rings of Power Season 1 was released on September 1st, 2022, to a Lord of the Rings fan base that was outraged at how showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay
You mean those other two idiots?
took an egregious amount of creative liberty to make significant changes to the Tolkien lore. There's a trend in Hollywood that has taken some of the most cherished global franchises and seen their lore and canon radically changed for what the studios and their creative leads call updates for modern audiences. You've probably heard of it. This desire to change what millions of fans have fallen in love with forms the fulcrum as to why Rings of Power Season 1 was a failure and why Rings of Power Season 2 will succumb to the same fate as the first one.
Fuck you.
So The Rings of Power Season 2 was in development for almost 2 years. Despite the huge fan backlash to the first season, Amazon Studios doubled down on the team responsible for creating and producing it. The only person fired in Season 1, and this is kind of incredible, was Tom Shippey, a retired scholar of Old English literature and a leading expert on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien.
Get the hell out of here, Pat! You're fired! Get out!
As a screenwriter, I look at Season 1 of Rings of Power as a non-stop cavalcade of questionable creative decisions and a storyline that underwhelmed in every way. The scripts were written with a skill level of a first-year creative writing student, with dialogue that should have been completely deleted and rewritten.
Fuck you.
Characters that felt flat and manufactured, and a protagonist that was so disliked that it has become one of the best examples for writing students as to how not to write your main character in a story.
That makes sense.
This is one of the main reasons Season 2 of Rings of Power will be destined to produce results that are no better than those of Season 1. It's the protagonist, Galadriel. Payne and McKay took one of the most celebrated female characters in J.R.R. Tolkien's world and changed her radically. He revised her character to make her suitable for modern audiences. The term modern audiences is at the heart of most of the issues in Season 1 and 2, as the most destructive decisions were made because of this lore-altering ideology.
Go on.
Galadriel was changed to an angry, sword-wielding commander of the northern armies. Now, without getting deep into the lore, it's laughable that she will be given this title as her power was not by steel, but rather by magic and supernatural powers that she wielded. The first season was so incredibly poorly written that she became the most disliked character in the series, the protagonist, the main character.
That sucks.
She was angry, pretentious, impulsive, disrespectful, and arrogant.
Fuck you.
The scene that most thoroughly depicts her as a character fans love to hate was her training fight with the Númenóreans. Remember that one back in episode 5?
Come at me. Don't plant roots. Keep moving.
Fucking what? Are you serious?
Wait, what?
Weird.
Fucking bitch!
Fuck you.
I mean, my mouth dropped when I first watched this scene, as it's the most blazing example of why the writing team for the Rings of Power are some of the worst writers imaginable. There is a reason why Aragorn, Legolas, and Gandalf felt powerful in the Lord of the Rings trilogy without having to show great power.
This foe is beyond any. Run!
Peter Jackson understood that power must be surmised by the audience and never shown blatantly as an attempt to demonstrate power for the only reason of demonstrating it. Gandalf is the best example of powers that went unsheathed. We long to see what destruction he could amass with his powers as an Ishtari, but we're only given glimpses of it that allowed us to suppose the power that he actually wielded.
Logical.
Galadriel's circus-like killing of the ice troll in the first 10 minutes of episode 1 is another clear example of how to create a character that everyone dislikes.
Fuck you.
This is the biggest problem with season 2 of Rings of Power. It has the same protagonist as the first one, Galadriel. There will be no redemption arc that will make the audience change their minds about her. She's a major problem in a story that lacks a likable protagonist and is the first major issue for season 2. Another reason is that the second season of Rings of Power will be written and produced by the same people who wrote and produced season 1.
Oh God, don't tell me.
They've already shown us their writing and producing chops, and most of us will agree it's not that great. Wait, actually, let me rephrase that. They suck.
Fuck you.
The biggest issue is in the actual story as told by the individual scripts. Payne and McKay wrote season 1 and they also wrote season 2. Now, I'm being nice when I say that their writing skills are pretty much non-existent, as proven by the shockingly bad first season. Becoming a great writer and writing a great script takes years of dedicating yourself to improving your understanding of the craft. Storytelling is both an art and a science that requires understanding of how various elements are developed over a season. I will unequivocally state that Payne and McKay do not possess the skills to write a compelling season of scripts for a universe as textured and nuanced as Tolkien's.
There's a tempest in me.
They are writing hacks, amateurs, that Amazon was negligent in their due diligence to find the best writers for the Tolkien universe. Production elements such as set design, costumes, and special effects will come from the same people who were in charge of season 1. You cannot take the same showrunners and writing team, same production crew and creatives that did such a horrendous job in season 1 and expect that somehow in season 2, they'll be able to create an amazing 8-course meal full of visual delights and emotional intrigue after serving up 8 episodes of spam fried rice in season 1.
Fuck you.
They will likely be able to improve on most of the special effects and green screen set designs because these have a technical element associated with them. But those things that take raw creative juice, skill, and energy can only be manufactured by those who possess the proper skill set. The team working on season 2 of Rings of Power have proven that they lack the skills required to create a compelling TV show from the material millions consider a masterpiece. The skills this team showed in season 1 will be on full display in season 2, you can bet that. The Rings of Power streaming series will forever be a second-rate, billion-dollar TV show that massively flopped. And that's all I have to say about Rings of Power Season 2, and I will see you in our next video. Cheers.